everybody. Today I wanted to do a quick run through with you of a deck that's a particular favorite of mine. I've had this for several years. I have not worked extensively with it, but it's very near and dear to my heart. This deck was published in 2003. In 2002, I took a trip to Hawaii with my parents, and it was the last trip I took with my dad anyplace before he died. So this deck has a particular place in my heart, a particular significance for me. So this is the HazelMoon's Hawaiian Tarot. The author and the illustrator is Catalin E. Sikos. She was born in Hungary. She moved to Hawaii and lived there for many years. And she developed an affinity for the land, the people, the culture, and created this deck as she was so inspired by Hawaii. Now this deck has a limited run. It's not going to be produced again. You can still find it available on Amazon.com for, I believe, $19.99. I don't know how many copies they have available, but when they're gone, they're going to be gone. And the author herself had a few remaining copies, which she donated to a dog rescue organization called Rosegate. So the profits, if you buy it from their website, the profits will all go to the Rosegate Dog and Cat Rescue. And that's rosegate.org, ROSEGATE.org. They have a special page for HazelMoon's Hawaiian Tarot, and the cost is $17, including the shipping. So that's a really good deal. And all the money goes to benefit the rescue group. Alrighty, so when you buy the deck, you will find it comes in a flip-top box. It has a nice little sturdy book that comes with it. It's about 120 pages, or 108 pages, excuse me. And the book has some nice general information on tarot. There's a dedication. What is the Hawaiian Tarot? Why did she create it? Some Hawaiian words. What did Hawaii teach her? What is the Aloha spirit? A little bit more about the artist and her history, and information about tarot in general, and the significance of the suits and the numbers of the cards. A little bit on the short history of tarot. So it's really a nice, even though it's a small book, it's pretty comprehensive. Where to begin? She gives you suggestions for learning how to read. Let's see here. And she gives detailed descriptions of the 78 cards. What I would have liked would have been for the descriptions of all of the cards to explain about the imagery that she placed on each card and why she selected it. Now, some of the cards do have a little bit of that information, or some of the pages in the book describing the cards have that information, but not all of them do. And then we have the deck here of the 78 cards. And just looking at the picture on the front of the deck, you can see the beautiful, vibrant colors she selected. Here's the Ace of Sticks. Very nice. Now, before I go further, let me just mention, I have a blog that I have not been very active on for the past several years. It's called Starlight Tarot. And I do have a review of HazelMoon Hawaiian Tarot on my blog, which has pictures and information. So if you're interested in viewing that, you can go there. It's starlight-tarot.blogspot.com. So I have reviewed this in the past, but it's been a few years. My blog has not been active lately. I've been so busy with other projects that I just haven't kept it up, and I'm hopefully getting back to that now. But you can go there if you'd like to see the review and read it for yourself. I just thought it would be really fun to do a video walkthrough where I could really show you all the cards and not just a few. Now let's talk a little bit just about the cards in general. This is a representation of all the cards in the deck. You can see the size. They're shiny. They have nice substance. They're not fragile, but they're not too thick. They're easy to shuffle. The only The only issue that I have with these cards is I'm not too crazy about the petroglyph border here. It's so busy and I find it's rather distracting. So what I thought I might do is trim the deck down, you know, remove those edges, possibly even remove the top and bottom. I don't know, depending on how brave I am, I suppose. And then I thought I would order a replacement deck to have an intact deck in my, you know, as a backup. But I thought it would be fun to trim this deck down and just keep it in my purse. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how this deck is set up. The major arcana, all the cards are edged with this green. And then the suits in this deck are sticks instead of wands, as you might see in a traditional tarot deck. Cups, which is the same, cups or chalices. And then we have swords, which is similar to a traditional tarot deck that you might be familiar with. And for the suit traditionally known as coins or pentacles, she has renamed that lava stones. Now the cards in the lava stones suit, all of the pictures are edged in purple. And for the sword suit, all of the pictures are edged in red. In the suit of cups, all the pictures are edged in blue, as you would expect with the water suit. And for the sticks suit, all are edged in a kind of a brownish gold. So let's run through the major arcana. Zero the Fool. I just really love this card. It's a little boy. Here he's got the dog, the ukulele, a flower in his hand, looking at the mountain of Mauna Kea. You get the impression of there may be a cliff there. Very cute. Now you can kind of see what I mean about the card is a nice size, but it would have been nicer to have this image blown up to the edge of the card so you could actually see the little guy a little better. But there he is. So trimming the deck won't actually help enlarge the image, but at least it will help me to see it without the distraction of this busy border over here. I think that will help. Okay, so just one of my pet peeves. Too busy a card. All right, here's the Magician. Speaking of a busy card, but I love this. He's twirling that fire ring, creative energy, exercising his will. Great magician. Love it. The High Priestess. Nice representation with the elements of water. We've got the moon there. Lava stones surrounding the priestess. She's making an offering. Here we have the Empress. Now at first I didn't care much for this Empress card. This is Queen Liliuokalani, and she was the last ruler of Hawaii about 150 years ago. Now normally you're used to seeing an Empress card with an emphasis on youth and fertility and nature. Well, this is an indoor card and an older lady, but she is an Empress, so it does kind of work in that sense, and it's beautiful. Here's King Kamehameha as the Emperor. And we have the little blue church in Kona to represent the Hierophant. Very nice. So teaching, learning, having a mentor, learning a lesson, all ideas represented by that card. Here's the Lovers, having an affinity to a person, place, or thing. I love the joyful expressions on their faces. Beautiful. The Chariot. This is another sweet card. Instead of horses or Sphinx, we have the dolphins. And I really like this better than the Rider-Waite with the Sphinx. Those Sphinx are just sitting there in that card. And this is definitely motion. The Chariot. Would have been nice to have had one of them be dark and another one light in color, but it's not necessary for the idea behind the card. Strength, instead of a woman with a lion, we have the woman taming the shark. And she makes a note in her book that the shark is considered like a spirit animal for some families. Here's the Hermit, number 9. You have some unfinished business, you're regrouping. Really, it's beautiful. Look at the moon over the water, the light from the lamp, the white hair indicating age and amassed knowledge. Really pretty. Here's the Wheel of Fortune. Things are changing. There's a map of the Hawaiian Islands in the background. Flowers, ukulele. Cute. Justice. I like this Justice card real well. The scales are there. She's at the fruit market. Doesn't have much of a legal or moral type of a feel to it, but still you can make it work. I like it. The Hanged Man. This is an actual bridge on the way into Hilo. I think it's the Wailuku River. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but there's the Hanged Man. I love this Death card. So beautiful. The lay going out to the sea. The departure of the spirit, and the sense of rebirth. Just beautiful. Temperance. It would have been better to have those flows joined together, but this still works. Now, instead of the devil, we have the evil. And showing that man can produce ill effects in the world by his actions. Overfishing, overwhaling, polluting. So just a reminder that our bad habits need to be addressed at times. Here's the tower. That's a tower in Honolulu. I think it's called the Aloha Tower. The star. Really beautiful. Hope, a new direction. That really conveys the essence of the meaning of the star to me. Here's the moon. Now this is a place on the Big Island called the Place of Refuge. And it's full of tikis like that. There's the moon in the background. And the sun. I love this sun card. I absolutely love it. Look at how beautiful that is. Anthuriums just thriving under the sun. Who needs sunflowers when you've got anthuriums? Judgment. Instead of a trumpet, we have a conch shell. Really cute. And the world. So we've got the same general picture as the Rider-Waite deck, but it's got a lei and a hula dancer. And we lost the Egyptian symbols at the corners, but if you're familiar with the world card, you can read quite easily with this. All right, now let's take a look at the minor arcana. First, let me say that some of these have very non-traditional, non-Rider-Waite messages, and the images are very different from a Rider-Waite deck. So if you're a beginning reader, you may have some difficulty reading with this deck. But if you work with it a while, I think you can probably get used to it. So first we have Ace of Sticks, which is represented by the humpback whale tail. Two of Sticks. There's two sticks here in between the bird of paradise and the tree. And this is supposed to indicate, according to her information, the Two of Sticks represents a mature person who may provide you with assistance to obtain your desires. They are hoping something good is about to happen and want to see it materialize. An offer is about to be presented. If you do not feel right about it or you think it is not enough, do not sell yourself short or settle for less. There is something better on the horizon. The 2 thus represents a solidification of the energy represented in the ace. The 2 of sticks represents the beginning of clarity, the formulation of the spark of inspiration into an idea that can be carried out. So I just wanted to read that to you because it's a little different than the idea in the Rider-Waite deck of the 2 sticks and the man gazing out over the land and the gateway idea. Although it's the basic idea is here, but the meaning is slightly different. So if you can work with that, that's great. The 3 of sticks is to indicate vision and foresight. So you're kind of looking ahead. The 4 of sticks is supposed to indicate the completion of a project or a foundation, as are all the 4s. The 5 of sticks, I really like this 5 of sticks. The 5 of sticks in a traditional deck is competition, 5 people with sticks that are kind of duking it out. And this shows the competition between the lava and the road. 5 of sticks. 6 of sticks is traditionally a card of victory or achievement. Seven of sticks indicates that you've got you're looking ahead to some sort of a troublesome issue, that's something that's conflicting and bothering you. 8 of sticks is indicating movement towards something, and I guess the water is to represent the movement. Looks like the house is kind of a floating thing. This is why I was saying I wish that she would have explained a little better in her book about the imagery in the cards, because for most of them there's no explanation about how the picture is meant to portray the idea or the keyword of the card. Here's 9 of sticks, which is traditionally meant as a challenge, or meant to portray a challenge. I guess the challenge of getting through the heavy dense cover there. 10 of sticks. Now in most decks this is represented as overburden, but in her book she describes it as a like a completion of a family, or it's a completion card. So let me just read real quickly. 10 of sticks represents home, family, ohana, and friends. All cards in the suit of sticks represent some degree of these aspects as it pertains to the question at hand. How they affect your reading depends on the denomination of card and the position or category. The 10 of sticks symbolizes money, an announcement, love, faithfulness, fertility, security, and victory. The simple meaning of this card is one who is faithful, secure, fertile, one who announces good news, an immaculate conception, or simply a gain. So that's very different from Rider-Waite. And there's no right or wrong way to construct or to interpret tarot. And I really like her method. 10 of sticks. It's original, it's from the heart, it's well thought out. Here's the boy of sticks, embarking on an adventure. Warrior of sticks. The knights are warriors in this deck. Queen of sticks. Gosh, I love that card. So, so pretty. Just gorgeous. King of sticks. Alrighty, let's go on to the next suit. Here's the Ace of Cups. 2 of Cups, very nice representation. So the initiation of the ace, the partnership of the 2, the celebratory nature of the 3, And this is a place on the Big Island. I believe it was like a gathering place where people went to learn. And I don't know specifically what they were learning. I can't remember offhand, but I remember wondering why she had picked this particular scene for Three of Cups. But I think it's meant to indicate gathering, of a social nature. Here's the Four of Cups. Very pretty picture. Five of Cups. Kind of the moon in there. The spilled cups are still there. So a little bit of an unsettling feeling in the five. The Six of Cups. The Seven of Cups. And that's sort of been a decision card in most other decks. Whereas Six of Cups is more of nostalgia, happy memories, good thoughts, that type of thing. And this is a little bit more of an unsettled card. You know, you don't know which way to go, what's going on, what to do. I kind of get that sense from that picture. Here is Eight of Cups. Things have really stagnated and you need to move along. Here's the Nine of Cups, which in many other decks is a card of happiness, fruition. Here is the Ten of Cups. Happy family gathering, it looks like, or a party. I like that for Ten of Cups. Here is the Boy of Cups, a traveling surfer. Here is the Knight of Cups, or Warrior of Cups they call it in this deck. The Queen of Cups. And the King of Cups. Now moving right along to the swords. Ace of Swords is of course a swordfish. Lovely. Leaping out of the water, exuberant. Two of Swords. A choice, an impasse. Something is beyond there that's better. The rainbow ahead. I like that. Three of Swords. That's an interesting card for Three of Swords, and I like the imagery better than the typical Three of Swords where you have three swords piercing a heart. But I want to just check her meaning in the book here. Okay. Three of Swords. This card represents sudden pain, suffering, or betrayal. This card can also be a warning. There is something going on that you do not know about or do not want to acknowledge. Usually the questioner is the one causing the pain for others. On my card I painted a unique structure of Hilo Bay bell tower. The Polynesians arrived in the Hilo area about 1100 AC. They eventually inhabited the shores of Hilo Bay, farmed their crops, fished and traded their goods along the Wailuku River. In 1946 and again in 1960, two destructive tsunamis swept Hilo's bayfront, causing the relocation of the government and commercial life. Divinatory meaning: removal, absence, division, delay, rapture, disappointment, or struggle. Well, now see, I like that she included that. Reasoning of why she included this particular imagery in the card for Three of Swords. So that was helpful. Four of Swords. Rest, recuperation, regeneration. Five of Swords. Dueling volcanoes there, I guess. Six of Swords. Father Damien. Wow. A healing card. I like that. The Seven of Swords has often been portrayed as there's kind of some stealth activity going on, but in this case, it looks like the supplicant with her incense offering up to the heavens. And I love the inclusion of incense in the suit of swords, which is an air suit. The incense, the birds. So get your own divinatory meaning based on 7, the suit, the element. And you can interpret fine with this card. I love it. Very pretty. Eight of Swords. It's traditionally a kind of an entrapment type feeling. You kind of get that same impression with this card. Nine of Swords. Now, the simplistic explanation of the Nine of Swords has always been a nightmare, bad thoughts, oppression from your thoughts and your emotions and your feelings. Nine of Swords. That's really an energetic card. I would think that would be more included in the Wand suit, but Nine of Swords. Okay. And here we have 10 of Swords. And I like this imagery. The completion of this suit, and it's time to move along. No dead bodies required. Here's the Boy of Swords. With his aloha. Warrior of Swords. The Queen of Swords. And the King of Swords. Now that's an early colonial flag of Hawaii, so it looks like the King of Swords here is being represented as, I don't know, an Asian or European influence as they came over and colonized Hawaii. Conquest of the peaceful nation. I had some trouble with this card when I first started reading with this deck. And I just didn't like it. It just didn't seem to fit in with the rest of the deck. But, you know, only one card out of 78 is not too bad. All right, moving on to the lava stones. Here we have the Ace of Lava Stones. And this is said to represent great wealth and happiness. The meanings are contentment, felicity, ecstasy, gold, perfection, fruitfulness, happiness. Traditionally, the Ace of Pentacles is said to represent the beginning on the journey toward something along those lines. Not the fulfillment necessarily, but the beginning. All right, here we have Two of Lava Stones. I love this card. It's so cute. But Two of Pentacles is like a choice decision. You've got the Hawaiian nene bird there. This is a bird that's nearly went extinct, but now it's protected, I believe. And you can find it throughout the Hawaiian Islands. I did see some birds when I was there, and they were nesting very close to a volcano. So I guess the warmth helped to incubate their eggs. Anyway, Two of Lava Stones, which is the equivalent of Two of Pentacles. Juggling your chores, tasks, deciding your priorities. Three of Lava Stones, the equivalent of Three of Pentacles, which has somewhat been considered an apprentice card or learning a craft or a trade. And I don't really see that here. I just, you know, you just have to go with your intuition on these cards at sometimes. It's very pretty though. Maybe hard for beginning readers, as I said, and even for me, and I'm not a professional reader, but I've been reading for years for myself, and I have a little bit of trouble. Okay, here is the Four of Lava Stones, which would be equivalent to the Four of Pentacles, and kind of a solid foundation there. happiness, contentment, fulfillment. Here is the 5 of lava stones, and there we see the Arizona Memorial. And as is typical with the 5s, a scene of turmoil. Six of lava stones. And that's considered to be a card that denotes generosity or giving. And here we show an offering to the gods at the edge of a volcano. So that works. 7 of lava stones, or 7 of pentacles. This is the type of monuments you would see at the edge of the road in Hawaii when somebody was killed by the roadside. And I think that's the idea here. You're kind of building this monument, tribute. You've got the lei there. So beyond being a remembrance, it's sort of a kind of a card of waiting for a loved one. I know it's a different feel completely from the Rider-Waite, but I like this. Here's the 8 of lava stones. Nine of lava stones. And the 10 of lava stones, which would be the equivalent of 10 of pentacles. Consummation of a relationship, happy family. Here's the boy of lava stones, kind of the student card I always regard this card as. I'm not sure what this guy is studying there. The native flora and fauna, I suppose. Kind of cute. Here is the warrior of lava stones. The queen of lava stones. Isn't that a beautiful card? I really love her. She's the queen of her family, the epitome of success, happiness, good health. Just beautiful. And there is her partner, the king of lava stones. The king of the fish kingdom, or fisherman kingdom there. So I don't want to take up a lot more time reading descriptions in the book. I know some of those lava stone cards you might have been scratching your head and saying, what is she trying to convey? But she does have information in the book, and if you correlate the book with the cards, you'll have a much better time. It just takes some working with this deck to really enjoy it. So I hope you'll come back and visit in the future, like my channel, subscribe, and I hope to see you again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.